Hey there, Coach Randy here. Every now and then, someone will post a comment on one of our Prodigy videos about how they'd like to see me switch up the formats of the tournaments or put out a sport pattern like I used to do when we were in Georgia. These types of comments have been posted often enough that I feel like I need to make something clear. First of all, there seems to be a mistaken notion out there that the decision is up to me what format we use on Prodigy or what oil pattern is put out. That might have been true in Georgia, but it hasn't been true since Prodigy moved to Kansas City. Someone even said something once that led me to believe that there was a mistaken impression out there that the name Kansas City Open was something I dreamed up to give these tournaments a name when we cover them on Prodigy Bowlers Tour. So let me clear the air here. The Kansas City Open is a legitimate tournament organization that's been in operation since 1996, fully 20 years before Prodigy Bowlers Tour ever became a thing. The KCO has been putting on these tournaments for youth bowlers in the Kansas City area long before I ever moved back home to Kansas City, the town where I grew up. So make no mistake, the Kansas City Open would be going on whether or not Prodigy Bowlers Tour was covering their tournaments. And the board of directors of the Kansas City Open decides on what their tournament formats will be. I don't get a vote. Oh, they might hear my opinion when I care to express it. And I have expressed my opinion about how I wish the youth bowlers of this area had more tournaments to bowl that challenge them with sport patterns, if only because of how it might better prepare them for what awaits them at Junior Gold each July. But in the end, that's just my opinion, and the KCO has their reasons for holding the tournament on the house shot that's put out by the host venues. Some of the centers might charge extra to have to bring in a staff member who knows how to program the oil machine and put in an oil pattern, or they might want to charge extra to put out a sport pattern. Either way, the KCO wants to preserve every penny of the prize fund that they can take in so that they can pay it all back to the bowlers, and I fully support that premise. And as I've said on Prodigy countless times, even though they're bowling on the house shot, they only oil the lanes once in the morning before the first block of qualifying. There are 4 blocks of qualifying and then the stepladder, and these kids are bowling on the burn by the time our cameras are on. It's not like the lanes are dead easy, anything but. But then some people still comment that they'd like to see if these kids can bowl on sport patterns. Well, there is another tournament association here in the Kansas City area called the Heart of America Junior Classic, or HOA for short. They hold a tournament about every other month. They bowl over 2 days with qualifying on Saturday and then a cut to the top 8 players in each of 3 average base divisions. Then on Sunday, the 8 players who advance from each division bowl 8 games of round-robin match play, which ends with a position round before they cut to the top 4 for a 3-game stepladder. All 3 divisions bowl scratch. When I first moved here, I spoke to both the KCO and the HOA about giving their tournaments the Prodigy treatment. The KCO was enthusiastic in their support, and I elected to partner with them. But they also know that I spoke with the guy who runs the HOA and considered working with them too. And I might have if it weren't for one little problem. At the HOA, they are adamant about having their stepladder finals in all 3 divisions skip pairs of lanes after each match of the stepladder. That would require that I move the camera from one pair of lanes to the next pair of lanes that the division moves to in order to follow that division through all 3 games of the stepladder. Either that or the Prodigy audience would see match 1 from one division, then match 2 from another division, and match 3 from still another division. And I'm telling you, at the time I had that conversation, none of our Prodigy viewers had even become acquainted with any of these Kansas City kids, and the whole idea was just a non-starter for me. But I do occasionally go watch an HOA, and today I attended their tournament in Lee Summit, Missouri at Summit Lanes. And I can tell you that yesterday, Connor John, who you've seen on Prodigy, he bowled a 299 on the sport pattern, and Caden White shot an 800 series. So yes, these kids you see on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, they can bowl on a sport pattern. Today, in the Masters division, the top 4 players were Connor John in the number 4 position, Nolan Nash in the number 3 position, Rhett Ryman in the 2 spot, and Caden White was the tournament leader. If that sounds like a familiar cast of characters, it should. Usually at the HOA, you get pretty much the same group of kids who rise to the top that you see at the KCO as well. In the opening match today, Connor John defeated Nolan Nash. Then in match 2, Connor started with a big string of strikes as Rhett Ryman was having trouble carrying, and Connor advanced. That set up the championship match between Connor John, who had finished second to Joseph Enderle in August and September, trying to get his first HOA win, this time against our tournament leader, Caden White, who bowls at Summit Lanes and knows this house like the back of his hand. After a player in one of the undercard divisions got the front 8 in his championship match, and I wanted to go down there and tape it just in case he shot 300. So when that didn't happen, I decided to point my camera at the Masters division to give you some bonus coverage this month on Prodigy Bowlers Tour, this time from the Heart of America Junior Classic at Summit Lanes in Lee Summit, Missouri. Can these kids bowl on a sport pattern? You decide. They're bowling on a 44-foot pattern. Connor has 104. In the 6th with a strikeout. Caden has 134 in the 7th with a spare. Connor up in the 8th. Oh, and he backdoors the 2-pin. Now, for the first time in the match, Connor can take the lead if he strikes here. Oh, he pulled it. 4, 6, 7, 9. Which way will he go at this? Looks like he's going to go with the 4. That's the way to shoot this. Play it like the 4-9, knock the 9 into the 6. Gonna get too much of it. So that's 156 through 9. So he can get to 186. Caden's tournament to win now. Boom. He needs a mark. Okay. If he were to happen to miss this, he would finish with 172. I'm sorry, no he wouldn't, 182. But he gets it. He needs 3 pins. There you go. There you go. There you go. And it's a third straight second place finish at the HOA for Connor John. He finished second to Joseph Enderley in August and September. And now he finishes second to Caden White.